Hello everyone, welcome to Opportune. My name is Eva and today we are going to create this Power BI report. It is a comparison of revenue and profit performance for the Superstore sales, and this is the business requirements that we have. We're going to go through the functional requirements and the metrics that we'll be using, and finally come up with this beautiful, very informative report. I hope you learn. I hope you enjoy. Let's get to it. In this project, we are going to start with the business requirements as usual. And in the case scenario here, the Superstore stakeholders have contracted you as a data analyst to provide a comprehensive report analyzing the revenue and the profits across various product categories, subcategories, segments, and geographical regions for the past 4 years. I'm going to show you the dataset that we'll be working with, and you'll get to see all these fields. But this is the requirements that we are working with in this particular project. And we shall come up with some functional requirements. From from the requirements, as you can see, we are analyzing two things. We are comparing two things, the revenue and the profits. And the basis of these comparisons are the product categories, the subcategories, segments, and geographical region. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to analyze the revenue by the product categories, the subcategory, segment, and region, and also the profits. We're going to do the same. And the metrics that we are coming up here are pretty simple. For the revenue, we'll have its analysis by product category, subcategory, segment, and region. And the profits, we're going to do the same. I'm going to show you the data set. We're going to have a look at it, and then we'll start analyzing this. Here's the data set that we'll be using in this report. This is the data set that you've been provided as the data analyst. And it's good for you to start by understanding your data, understand what you're working with, so that you get to familiarize with the concepts or the business requirements that you have at hand. As you can see, these are sales data. We have the category here and the city, the country or region. Then from here we have the customer ID, the customer name, the order date and order ID. We also have the postal code and product ID. We are not going to use all these fields, by the way. So we'll pick the fields that we'll be using for this specific analysis. Then the product name and region, the row ID, the segment, ship date, ship mode, ship status, and the state. Then as we go across, we get to see more of the financial data populated in the very last columns. We have days to ship schedule is the days to ship actual and the days to ship schedule. This is the discount, the profit, quantity, sales, and sales forecast. The workbook here that has the category, the order date, segment, and then the sales target. We're still going to use this for the report, and we are going to go ahead and start analyzing our data. We'll import it to Power BI first, and then we start analyzing and building it after you get the business requirements. I never fail to emphasize that if you're a data analyst, it's okay for you to get it is important for you to get the business requirements first, get to see the data and familiarize yourself with it. Then from there, you can confidently come up with a blueprint of how you want to build that report, and then that is also what is going to help you to come up with the functional requirements and the metrics, different metrics that you'll have for your report. And then finally, you can start building up on the report. This dataset is very clean, by the way. There's not that much cleaning that is required. It's the kind of data that you can, of course, start working with immediately. But in most cases, you're not going to have a clean data. It's you upon you to learn how to process data by cleaning it, removing the errors, and all the data processing steps that are carried out within the data analyst or data scientist scope. So let's go ahead, import our data set and start analyzing it. We are back on our Power BI application. Here we're going to import those two CSV files and we're going to start working on the data right away. So you click on get data, text or CSV, and then let's go to the specific folder we'll be using. Once you have imported the dataset, it's time for you to look at the data model. Then we'll come to the model view and see how our data is structured. And as you can see, we have all these fields in this table and the field in the sales target table. So we're going to create relationships here based on the category field that is in both this that is in both this target superstore orders. So we're going to take this field, drag and drop there. And then this is many to many. Otherwise, even if you use the segment, you can still use the segment field, which is in both tables, and you can drag this and drop here. It's still a many to many relationship. So in this case, I'll just like to use the category. I'll drag and drop, and then save. Okay. Now that we have created our models, we can go ahead and start designing our report. And we'll start with the background. So we'll come here and click the wallpaper and choose the colors. So I'm going to use a red background. So I'll pick that. And then I'll go ahead and insert a shape. So we'll select insert and then we choose a shape. And then we'll choose this rectangle with rounded corners, a rounded rectangle, and expand this all the way down. I'll just expand this a little there. And then we'll start the formatting. So I'll come to shape and reduce the size of the rounded corners to 5. That is fine. The rotation is okay. You can go to style and then the fill color is going to be white, but I'll increase the transparency a little. Let's reduce this. Well, that's okay. Let's have it at 10. And then we're going to turn on the shadow. And let's pick the color of the shadow, the transparency. Okay, we'll increase it to 50%. and then we'll choose the color to be the gray. That's okay. And well, that's fine. So the next thing that I will do, I'll introduce a text box. So let's go back to home and select the text box here. It goes all the way across. And let's resize it and put it somewhere up there in the middle. And we're just going to give it a very simple we're going to give it a very simple, the Superstore revenue profit comparison. Well, that's okay. And let's reduce this text box all the way across. We carry it and put it somewhere in the middle so that we can have oh, it seems we have reduced it too much. That's okay. So we're going to pick this shape and format it. We're going to send it to back. I'm going to click somewhere there so that this this title can pop. Let's go ahead and format this. We go to, you can come here first and highlight the text, all of it, and we'll make it bold. This calls for the increase of this text box. That's just an expansion across. And then let's go to more properties. I want to make it completely transparent. So this is going to be in effect. Then we can have it like that. So it's going to be going back all the time. We'll have to probably select somewhere outside the shape. So that's okay. The next thing that we are going to do, we are going to introduce another text box here. And let's drag it and drop it here. I'll drag and drop it there. And inside this text box, I want to capture the revenue. So we will call it, I want to capture the revenue. This is revenue. And let's highlight this text. Okay. Highlight this and increase the font. And we shall make it bold. Let's resize that. That is okay. And This text box is also going to be transparent, so we'll come to effects and increase the transparency to 100%. Still need to expand this. And we'll have a visual border for this. And a shadow of the same. So the border color, I want it to be, let's say, let me first increase the rounded corners to 10. And we shall expand it down and across. And that visual border, let's take it to a very light gray. Let's put it across and then form much across. So our text box is okay. What I'm just going to do, I'll copy it and paste. So I'm going to select it, copy, and then paste. And I'm going to drag it and drop it down here. I'm going to drag one and drop it down there. So once this is done here, I'll change this and call it profit. It's the profit, and we'll have an analysis of the both. So we'll have an analysis of the revenue up there and then the profit down here. We'll bring in a column chart, and this is where we are going to start analyzing first the categories. Let me resize it and put it there. And I will look for the sum of sales and put it at the y-axis, and then we'll look for the categories and drag it to the x-axis. Let's expand this a bit. And as you can see, we have the technology category leading in terms of the revenue, followed by the furniture and the office supplies. Since we need to see more details, I will bring in the data labels. We'll turn them on there. And you can see this is 0.84 million. So let's do more formatting here. We go down to values, and this will be in bold and black. And then the units will change this to 1,000. So that's much better. We can see how much revenue we got from technology category, the furniture and the office supplies. Let's do a bit more formatting so that this will be more presentable. We'll go to the x-axis, we'll turn off the title. Then for the values, we'll have them in bold and black. Let's expand this again. That's okay. Then we'll go to the x-axis and we'll do the same. And the values, will have the values in bold and black. It is okay. We also change this to display in thousands. That's fine. We can turn off the grids, the grid lines. Go to the grid line and then turn them off. Collapse that. You can also collapse this. Let's look at the columns. We want to change this color. And I'll put a formula here. And I want this to be in terms of the sum of cells. So the lowest cells will have a very light gray, and the maximum cell will have the dark gray there. You can click OK. And that's okay. So let's go and turn off the, okay. We'll click somewhere outside this shape so that that disappears. Let's continue with the formatting. We'll turn the legend off so that we don't get to see that up there. And then we'll go to the general and edit this title. So this is will be revenue by category. Revenue by category. Then we can change the font there to Sigo light, and then reduce the font size to 10. Oh, that's too little. Let's have it at 11 there, and we can make it bold. To blurrish. That's visible. That is okay. Some more changes I'll make on the effects, and I'll increase the transparency to around 20. To 25. That's fine. Let's collapse that. We add a visual border, and the color of this will be just a gray. Let's collapse that. Then we have a shadow. One more thing, we increase the rounded corners to 10. That's about it. So that's the metric of our revenue by the category. And as you can see, we have the technology leading, followed by furniture, and then the office supplies. We will copy this column chart, and I'll paste it. Okay, I'll paste it down here. It's okay that I can just do a few editing. So let's move this. Let's come here and move this one up a little. Then go to this and just a few aligning. Well, that's fine. So on this column chart, we want to see the profits, the performance of the profits, and how the profit of each category has been. So let's remove this and bring in the profit on the y-axis. And as you can see, the contrast between what we had here and what we have here. So the item with the category with furniture, here we had coming in second from technology, but here it's coming in third, and the difference is quite high. We'll go ahead and start formatting this. Let me go to color. columns. Then I'll go to this formula. So instead of sum of sale here, we'll have the sum of profit. And then the gradient is going to remain the same. And I will click OK. Okay. So this is a bit done. It's coming really close to the profit of the technology category. Well, that's fine. We'll go to the next metric, and here we want to compare the revenue of the subcategories and the profit of the subcategories. So what I'll do, I'll still copy this and paste it, drag it to that position. Okay, one more editing on this. We go to the title and change from revenue to profit by category. Well, that's fine. Now on this chart, it's going to show us the revenue by the subcategory. And let's go back here and remove the category field and look for the subcategory. Once you have it, you can drag and drop it on the x-axis, and as you can see, we have so many subcategories. Here I'll just display the first four, the top. Let's do the top 5. So we'll come to filters, subcategory. We'll do a top n filtering, and we'll select top 5. Let's do top 3. And then this is by the sum of sales. Drop there, and then you can go ahead and click apply. And as you can see, we have the phones coming in first, the chairs, and then the storage. We will go to more formattings. Let's look at the columns. This is by the sum of sale, which is okay. And there's no much formatting actually we're going to do here. It basically gives us and narrows down how the revenue has performed in the subcategory section, which subcategory has the highest revenue, followed by the rest. Let's compare this in terms of profits and see how the profits of the subcategories are. So I'll format this to, let's start by introducing the column that we want to remove this. Actually, let's undo that. What you're removing is the x-axis. I'll take the subcategory field and drop it at the x-axis, on the x-axis. And this is what we have. So let's also select the top 3. Let's do that filtering, the subcategory, the top, and we'll have 3 here. Then we'll take the sum of the profits, drag and drop there. Then go ahead and apply. And as you can see now, we have something very different. We have the copiers coming in first, which are not even among the top 3 revenue subcategories. The copiers are coming in first, followed by the phone and then the accessories. So as much as we're selling more phones, they're not giving us that much of a profit. We're getting more profits from the copiers, which are selling probably very few, but their profit is the highest. So let's look at a few things here. So the title is okay. This is the profit by subcategory. Okay. So we'll go to title and change this subcategory. And then we will look at the column and just make sure that the gradient is giving us the maximum profit. So we go and look at the formula that we have here under colors. This is the sum of profit, which is okay, and then the highest value and the lowest value, that is also okay. The third thing that we're going to look at is the revenue by the segment, and we'll do a comparison with the profits by the segment. So we'll just select this, copy, paste, drag there. And then have a look at the revenue by the segment. So we remove this field and look at the and find segment field, which is down here, drag and drop. So these are the top three segments. The first is the consumer, followed by the corporate, and then the home office. We'll adjust this side so that you can have. Okay, these are just about fine, and let's try to adjust this. Okay, that is okay. So we have the top three segments that are performing very well in terms of revenue. We will just edit this, come to general, change the title, and this is the revenue by segment. Okay. Since there are no more formattings needed on this column chart, we'll go ahead and look and have a comparison of the profits. I'll just copy this, paste it, we'll drag and drop there, and we will change this from the subcategory, field, and then we'll drag drop segment there. Expand it a little so that it aligns perfectly with the top chart there. Let's go ahead and change the title from subcategory to segment. That's okay. And expand this. Let's move this a little. Then we have to move this so that everything is perfectly aligned. Okay, that is the profit by segment. And as we look at if we look at the filtering that we have here, we have the subcategory by top three. So I'll remove this just to make sure that this was here. This is subcategory. I'll remove that. Select segment here, top N. Then I'll drag the profits field, and this is going to be the value of which we are performing this filter. Stop 3. Then we will apply. That is okay. This is the subcategory. Let's remove that. We have the segment. This is top N, top 3. Then sum of sales, drag, drop, then apply. Okay, let's finish up with the alignments. That is okay. So we have let's look at this. In both, the consumer segment is performing very well in terms of revenue and profit, followed by the corporate and then the home office. Lastly, we are going to compare the regions, which region is performing well in terms of the revenue and which top 3 regions that are performing very well in terms of the profit. So let's copy this and paste or drag and drop. Have to reduce the size of this chart. So we'll go back here and remove the segment. So we have the state here. We'll drag and drop it on the x-axis, and we have California, New York, Texas. That's okay. So let's remove this and filter by states. We'll do a top 3. Then we'll drag and drop by not state but sales. Drop there, and we can go ahead and apply. So we have the top 3 states. Now that would be California, followed by New York, and then Texas. We'll go ahead and change the title from segment to state. And do a comparison of the profit using the same basis of state. This, okay, you can remove this and just copy what we have up here, copy and paste, so that I can just drag it and drop it there. So I will remove the sales field and drag and drop the profit field. We'll also change the title here from revenue to profit by state. We will also look at the filtering. This is top N by sales, remove sales, and take profit there, then apply. Okay. And you can see, as you can see, these changes now. We have that coming in is Washington, while we had Texas in that position in terms of revenue. So we have all the metrics that we need for this report. So the only thing that we can add, we can give the stakeholders the ability of looking at this data in terms of the different years they've been in operation. So we will change this. Okay. let's see. Here we used, since we used the revenue, let me go to columns and have a look at the gradient here. To the formula. So this is sum of sales. We have to change that from sum of sales to profit. Okay, that's fine. Let's see the data label. As you can see, New York has disappeared. Let's see. Okay, let's try to find out what is happening here. If I try to change the value from thousands to millions, okay, so it's a space issue. So, okay, let me expand this. Now we have it. Okay, let's do some aligning here and then we'll come back to this. Now we have everything aligned well and you can see all the metrics and all the values. We want to add a slicer where we are able to filter down this data in terms of the years, the 4 years that they've been in operation, so that they can go ahead comparing how the revenue and the profit has performed based on the different metrics that we had here. So I'll go ahead and select this slicer and we'll have it at the top here. So we are going to be able to filter this in terms of the order date. So we'll pick this order date and put it at the field. And then we'll have the date hierarchy here and remove all these other categories and leave the year. Then we'll start formatting this. We'll change from a vertical list to a tile. Then this we can align this up there. Okay, that's okay. Then from there, we are going to look at this data. If we select 2017, you can see technology was still leading in terms of revenue, but in terms of profit, it's coming in second. You can see the subcategories. You can see the subcategories in terms of the profit, the segment, and the state. Then 2018 has been like this. The 2018 was like this. The furniture leading in terms of revenue, in terms of profit. Profit technology was leading. The other metrics. Then 2019, this is what the performance, and lastly 2020, that is what we had. And then if we deselect that, this is the overall performance of the different operations of the superstore. Now let's finalize by formatting that slicer up there. we go to, or we change this option from a vertical list to a tile. Then let's turn off the header. In terms of the values, we'll have them in bold and black. Then we can go ahead and collapse that. We are looking at, let's look at the background. We'll have it in gray. And then in terms of the border, I'm going to remove these three. We'll just have one separating the 4 ears. And then we don't need the header icon. We'll go to effects, change the background and make it transparent. Then the other thing that we'll need is a visual border turned on. The color of this border will be a gray. We'll increase the rounded corners to 10. And then we'll turn on the shadow. That's it. So that's the end of our report. This is what we'll be able to deliver to the stakeholders, and they will use this for their analysis. And as you can see, this gives a very good comparison of the revenue and the profit performance. I hope you learned a lot along the way as we are coming up with this report. We are going to use the same data set, of which I'll put a link in the description box. We are going to use the same data set to come up with another Power BI report. I hope you stick around and I hope you continue learning. But until then, stay safe.